Hello, welcome to TSK F1. It's time for the Saudi Arabia practice. Practice 1. How are we doing today, guys? Hope you're doing very well indeed. Welcome to the channel. I just literally, as I went live, the footage came on the stream. The F1 footage came on the screen and absolutely deafened me. So that was an issue for me. So how are we doing, guys? Hope we're doing very, very well. We've got 15 minutes until free practice 1. I'm just going to keep that low. How you doing, Ian? John, Citizen Phillips, Panda, Kofi, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. So the live timing that you have on your screen at the minute is from Bahrain. So we just have to wait for that to sort of tick over. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. All sorts of stuff could potentially be going down. I'm listening just in case there's any updates. Okay, I've got a story here. 2 upgrades Mercedes have brought to Saudi Arabia. Here we go. I've got a list of all the upgrades. I've got a list of upgrades for you guys. So let's just go through them. So, Mercedes, listen up for your team because I'm going to go through everything that everyone has got here. So, Mercedes are first up. They have a new rear wing. Camber of upper rear wing reduced to produce a wing efficiency appropriate for the high-speed circuit. So basically, they've got a lower drag rear wing than they had in Bahrain. Floor fences. Small reduction in fence loading, which results in better flow being sent to the rear of the floor, improving diffuser performance. Now, that ties in really, really well with what we heard their issues in Bahrain were. So they've got a lower drag rear wing, and also this might be what we were hearing about their floor. It's actually the floor fences. So they're the bits at the front of the floor that you see not on the inside of the front wheel, but just behind it, under the side pod, that are just like vertical fences going under the floor there. That's what the floor fences are, which should result in better flow being sent to the rear of the floor, improving diffuser performance. So there you go, Mercedes fans, low drag rear wing and floor fences, which should help rear performance, which has been an issue for them, hasn't it? Red Bull beam wing. So I believe the beam wing is the part of the rear wing near like the bottom of the rear wing that goes across. So it's below where the exhaust comes out, but then they've got a couple of little beam wings below that, which are attached to the main rear wing. Demands of the circuit in Jeddah are better served with a lower level of downforce and therefore drag for a given speed, the effect being better lap time compared to higher rear wing levels. And rear wing, they've got upgrades on the rear wing, which is lower drag, much like Mercedes. And also, rear wing end plate has changed on the Red Bull because of the low drag rear wing elements. So Red Bull upgraded beam wing, rear wing, and rear wing end plates. But the end plates and the rear wing could be basically, there is a consequence of each other. So all of that has been upgraded for them. Ferrari, how you doing, Keith? Ferrari, please do smash a like on the stream. Get into the chat, guys. Everyone get involved in the chat. The more people involved in the chat, the better. Let me know your thoughts on these upgrades for the teams as well. How you doing, Luke? You might have to close the chat and then reopen the chat and hit that to hit the like. Ferrari, now, front wing end plate, this isn't particularly linked to Jeddah, as we've seen the Mercedes and the Red Bull with new rear wings. These front wing end plate upgrades for Ferrari are part of their normal development cycle, and it should affect their overall downforce, flow conditioning, and car efficiency. They've also got a new floor edge, and it's a geometric evolution, and is part of their standard development and not track specific. This floor edge is focused on flow conditioning improvements for underfloor flow quality benefits. I already did. You miss what I said about the Mercedes? I'll go back around if you did, and also beam wing for the Ferrari as well. So for Ferrari, front wing end plate and floor edge not track specific, but beam wing is track specific, and it's free practice one, so it'll be today. Of course, he'll be doing them. And beam wing, Alpine have got a beam wing. This looks like it's just a track specific, so just a beam wing for Alpine. McLaren rear wing, and this is for the track. It's a low drag rear wing. And diffuser, don't know if that's to do with track specific or not, but McLaren have got a low drag rear wing and new diffuser. Haas have got a new front wing, which has got new wing flap geometry developed to suit a Jeddah type circuit, in combination with a low drag rear wing. Also, AlphaTauri low drag rear wing. Williams, blooming heck, Williams have got a new front wing, a new beam wing, a new rear corner, a new front corner of the floor, I presume, and a new engine cover as well. So that's quite a lot of upgrades there. Please do smash the like on the stream, guys. It's super important. It's important as many of you as possible get involved in the chat too. It helps things along. So just to recap really, really quickly, Mercedes have a low drag rear wing here with new floor fences. Also, Red Bull beam wing, and rear wing end plate. Ferrari front wing end plate and floor edge, which aren't track specific, they're normal upgrades, and a beam wing. Alpine beam wing, McLaren rear wing and diffuser, Haas front wing and rear wing, AlphaTauri rear wing, Williams front wing, beam wing, rear corner, front corner, and engine cover for those. So that's actually quite a lot of upgrades that we've seen there. And of course, we're going to be seeing the changes in the circuit as well, where in certain places they've moved the walls back also. So hopefully we get a good practice session which uncovers some things. Excuse me. Just seeing the change to the slow turn 20-ish. Yes, it's blind, so you don't want to be going in there too fast, but I'd rather they kept the speed and increased visibility. Indeed. Any reason why certain teams are going with beam wings versus not for others? Development cycle, money, getting it there in time. Pick and choose, really. I mean, look, Williams, I believe, tend to be quite good in a straight line normally, so they might not have a rear wing. But this wasn't, Jeddah wasn't the race that people were targeting. Now, so a beam wing, let me see if I can pull up the images, because I did have some brilliant images not so long ago, but I don't know whether I'll still have them. It's hard for me to show you this. Assets. Let me have a look. Have I got it there? Cars. Is it in there? Because I did the side-by-side thing, but I only did it quick, so I don't think I saved it in a particularly good place. I'll get you an image and show you. Just a minute. F1 beam wing. I'll show you it real quick. Give me a moment. The question was asked, so I'm showing it. Right then. Well, that's messy, but the veil is gone. But there you go. That's the beam wing there. So it's under the main wing elements at the top, and then below the then it's below the exhaust. So they'll have, instead of this much shape in them, I bet they're flatter because you want less downforce, and these will create more downforce by upwashing the hot air under the rear wing. So I bet they're flatter for this race. But there you go. That's the beam wing. Right then. TV has started. Seeing if we can get... There we go. Just to confirm, you can't hear my coverage now. Interesting, Williams being bottom last season might have helped them get things... well, hopefully. Hopefully. I do hope that's the case. I think a lot of people do. Right, I've just brought up the tyre data because people like to ask me about the tyres. Please do smash a like on the stream, guys. Get involved with the chat as well. And hit that subscribe down below if you've not already. So, what do we think we're going to see? I've just told you about all the upgrades, and it seems like Williams have done an upgrade. And, I mean, Red Bull, they've upgraded. Ferrari have upgraded. Mercedes have upgraded. I don't think Aston Martin have. I've just realised there was no Aston Martin on that list. Where do I get the tyre data? F1. Uh, 45 degrees track temperature over in Jeddah. I really would like to go to this one. I think it'd be fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money for one game. It's just VR in it. No like button on mobile. You might have to close the chat. There definitely will be a like button. Right. That wind tunnel and CFD, that wind tunnel and CFD time, the difference between top and bottom of the, yeah. The difference is massive. The difference is massive. I did a thing on it before the end of last season. There is a video on the channel about the differences, but I can't remember them off the top of my head. Afternoon, EJ. How you doing? So, is the session live? No, just a minute or two, I think. Fernando in the car already. I think the thing is with the PSVR 2, you only have to look at eBay as well to see how many people have decided they don't want it. Twitter was full of it, that they'd bought it and boxed it up and were selling it immediately. So we have upgrades for, again, just to run through it, Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, Alpine, McLaren, Haas, AlphaTauri, and Williams. And to be fair, I just noticed something. There's even more cooling louvers in the cooling cannon bit, as Gled called them. of the Mercedes. Honestly, if you're going to do it, Keith, get it used. You'll pick one up so much cheaper because people were getting rid of them. That amount of money is insane for VR. Lots of cars out on track. Am I missing something? 1 minute. So, 1 moment. They're treating it like a test section session. I think it's mainly because of all the upgrades on the cars. I'm just trying to make sense of what they're saying. But there are sensors and stuff on some of the cars and things. Not sure we know if you're missing something. So they're all getting out on track really quickly, as you can see. De Vries, Piastri, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Albon, Zhou, Sonoda, Norris, Sainz, Ocon, Sargent, Gasly, Magnussen, Leclerc, Perez, all out on track. Perez pulled out of the pits and nearly into the pit wall because he didn't turn enough. The turning circle of a fuel tanker. Slow Sports talk about Lewis's jewelry again. Like, look, this is, you know, I mean, it's a free practice session, so I can say about it. This is exactly the problem, isn't it? Right? Because I showed that whole story between Mercedes and Aston Martin in the engine was fabricated. Yet certain outlets really grabbed onto it as if it was really a story, you know? And it's just really frustrating. Like, who actually cares about Lewis Hamilton's jewelry? Does anyone? You know? Well, I mean, I guess they must do the polls and they must do the audience research to know actually lots of people do care. But I think all it shows as well is whether agreeing with having a go at him or not, it shows people's want to talk about Lewis Hamilton, and they'll do it with Max Verstappen over something as well that has been ill. They'll probably go on and on about the fact that Max Verstappen's been ill, you know. So we're seeing them out on track at the moment. We're getting our first views. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Seeing Perez set some times now. Thank you so much for hanging out today, guys. Really, really appreciate it. We're just 4 minutes into free practice 1 of the Saudi Arabia weekend. I really like the setting of this circuit. I really, really do. I'd love to go. I think it'd be great. I bet they'd be really nice and welcoming as well. Baku's one I've always felt as well. Baku would be cool. Just different. That's one thing about the expansion of Formula One into different countries that I've liked. Because I'd never have considered going to Baku. Not because, well, I just wouldn't have considered it. Not for any bad reason. But when I see it in F1, I'm like, you know what? You could visit Baku for a long weekend for it, couldn't you? Let's do a TSK F1 jolly. When I win the lottery. We need 4,800 viewers, not 48. to do that. So was just looking at Perez there, and I would say they're driving that car with a fairly low setup because he was sparking all over the place. They're saying that these runs are basically testing. So we're seeing flow viz on the Alfa Romeo as well. So expect lots of short little stints here from many of the teams. The curbs are really harsh around here, aren't they? I mean, we saw it with Mick Schumacher last season, didn't we, with his big crash? Literally no idea, Dan. What's funny? I don't know. What did I say funny? I don't know. I don't know, Ian. Don't know about that. So who's out at the minute? Still in the pits and haven't been out, Verstappen and Stroll. Stroll should be healed by now, shouldn't he? What do you feel about Ferrari and Leclerc's penalty? Can't say I feel anything. I'd like to. I think it raises a conversation about should we should they be giving out penalties like that, but how would they apply them? You know, because the old argument is they're punishing the driver for a team's issue, but what are they going to do? Are they going to deduct points off the team in the constructors and let the driver just go and do whatever he does? You know, there needs to be another option, and obviously they've chosen this is the way forward. Ooh. Fernando Alonso seemed to go in way hot into the newly reprofiled 22. Well, that's a conversation. Like, what would you do? Give me your suggestion. I don't feel much about it because, like, I don't feel about Leclerc one way or the other. The only thing I suppose is the rules and how you approach that type of situation and what you do and how you apply them and what is the best for the sport with the rules. How would you change them? And the only other way I think is to have X amount of constructors' points attached to each power unit component over and above the allocated ones. So it's the control unit, isn't it? It's the electronic control unit for Leclerc. And you only get 2 in a season, and he's already used both of them. So how do you approach it? Do you say, because it's a 2-use item, you lose 10 constructors? How many constructors championship points are fair? And could you even get the teams to get involved in that? Like, would they even go for it? Now, you can have whatever theory you want about Andretti coming into or not coming into the sport, but all of it seems to be centered around money. So would the teams agree to a situation where they could be docked points, meaning they lose tens of millions of dollars? I don't think they'd agree to it. So this is probably the happy medium where Leclerc's been given a penalty, but he's got a chance to make it up in the race. Like, if he gets pole, he's 10th, right? Is it a 10-place penalty? So as we see Alonso go fastest there at the moment with a few laps done. What do we think to the onboard? What do we think to the onboard cameras where it's in the helmet? Do you like them? Is it too much of a gimmick? I can't decide, you know. That looked like porpoising. I'm not going to say who, but it did. It did to me. That looked like. I mean, look, it did to me. I don't know if people are watching it. I'm going to wait for another run before I say anything more, as Hamilton goes fastest there. It's interesting that they're going out and doing fast runs immediately. And we've got Leclerc out on hard tyres. Hamilton was very rhythmically seemingly porpoising there from the onboard. His head was shaking in a porpoising kind of manner, but I didn't see the external shot. I think the team should take the penalty, but the points are more precious to the team's broader interest. Well, that's the thing. How do you apply it? Russell complaining of a vibration on the front axle. Yeah, it looked like it to you too, Ian. Yeah. I mean, it's difficult to tell from that onboard. We'd have to. He could have been bottoming, which could do that, and not porpoising, because we did see Perez running really, really low and bottoming out, as Perez has done a purple first and second sector on some scrubbed softs. Love the helmet cam. So Perez is going wicked fast right now. Yeah, he's at. So that's interesting. That was on some scrub tyres. Got to refresh my tyre data because I'm currently. Oh, I did just notice though, Hamilton's time was set on hards. Albon's just gone second on scrubbed hard tyres. Alonso's out on scrubbed soft tyres. Looking at Max Verstappen. One moment, just listening. They've spotted on the Red Bull that they've got those winglets on the inside of the end plate. So they're basically saying the Mercedes and the Haas version are more complex, but Red Bull now have the little winglet on the inside of the front wing end plate. So more than, you've got the normal elements going into the end plate, and then you had those winglets on the inside as well. Red Bull now have those also. So they've seemingly quickly integrated those into the front wing, which is an interesting development. So that's obviously something they've seen legs in, isn't it? As we see Leclerc, what is he running on at the moment? Hard tyres. Goes second fastest. Is the sound okay today, guys? Because I recorded something the other day and I sounded a little bit overdriven. Does it sound all right? Cheers, Lewis. Thank you. I don't know why, because I don't touch. Oh, big slide there coming out of turn 2 for Sainz. On board with George Russell, coming through the area that Carlos Sainz crashed in. I don't really know what the issue here is. Just watching Russell go past people. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Ferrari telling Leclerc to push him behind Russell and watch out for traffic, but they told him too late and there was traffic. So, as we're seeing a purple sector there from Alonso and a green middle sector, as he's coming down towards the final corner. Alonso goes first on his scrub soft tyres. Keeping an eye on WEC this weekend. Did you? Yeah. I saw Ferrari took pole, but I watched a little bit of practice. I think it was yesterday, and I mean, I don't follow it religiously, but from what I'm seeing, Ferrari taking pole won't necessarily manifest itself as race pace. They're thinking Toyota will still be stronger and things like that, from what I've read. So it looks like it's a tailwind down the start-finish straight here. So Albon's looking racy in this practice session with the upgraded Williams. We're still waiting to see Verstappen leave the pits, though. De Vries up to 7th place. The Williams has had upgrades, though. We went through the upgrades before the action started, so... Russell moves up to 7th, so you've got Mercedes 6th and 7th right now on the hard tyres. Yeah, and they've got the extra upgrades, so there should be. I'm just looking up the results from this Grand Prix last year, just to get an idea on times and things like that. This time last season, Charles Leclerc was fastest with a 30.7, just out of pure curiosity and interest. And qualifying pace last year was a 28.2. So 28.2 was quali last year, and fastest in this session was a 30.7 last season. I expect Williams to be stronger this weekend. This track will play to their strengths more than Bahrain. Yeah, I agree, actually. And hopefully, Perez with a purple sector there. Purple second sector as well on his scrub tyres. I'm trying to bring up that data now. These are 7-lap-old soft tyres for Perez that he's setting purple sectors on. So I think that shows you how little they're actually pushing to make these lap times at the moment. If he's setting purple sectors on 7-lap-old tyres, as Alonso sets a purple first sector 0.2 faster than Sergio Perez, as Perez takes a first place there by another 0.6 of a second, already faster than last year's FP1 fastest time by some 0.2 of a second, as we're waiting for Alonso to trip the timing beam. A green second sector, only 0.008 of a second slower though than Perez, so still a good 0.1/10 up on Perez. I really love how that Aston Martin looks. That was good maths. 0.135. As he comes over the line, and his tyres maybe gave up in the final sector there, as he lost 0.4 in the final sector. But I am just about to see the final corner. Does he lock up or anything? No, but maybe the tyres just gave out. We saw that in Bahrain, where the softest of the compound struggled to last a lap. But that's data, isn't it? He lost 0.4 of a second, though. It was a lot for him to lose on a seemingly tidy lap, wasn't it? Please do remember to smash a like on the stream. You may have to close the chat to do so, guys, but please do. smash a like on the stream. And if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button down below. My name's Rich. This is TSKF1. I'm live Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. with an F1 news show, and also I'm live with every single F1 session with watch-alongs like this. So please do hit that subscribe button and get involved in the chat, guys. Get involved in the chat. Just listening. So they've got two. They're just saying how Aston Martin have got two front wings that they're testing now to figure out which one is better. I was just going to look at something. That's it. Oh. So what do you think to Jeddah? I really like it as a circuit, honestly. 2 green sectors for Verstappen on his first outing. I love how close they get to the walls and things. I hope I'm surprised like this by Vegas, you know, because I really wasn't sure about Jeddah before it was a thing. And I really like the circuit now, and I'm really hoping that when they go to Las Vegas, I end up loving the circuit, you know. So Verstappen pops it into 3rd there on his first outing. Thank you for the subscribes, guys. Really appreciate that. Thank you. The alerts and stuff are quite slow, but I barely fit into this little box I'm in, do I? Just realised. I'm trying some different things as well, technically, today, guys. So if there's any lag and things, please do let me know. But I've totally changed how things are working my end to hopefully be more stable for you guys. Because in testing and in the Bahrain Grand Prix weekend, we had some issues. So, what have you seen the content I put out on it, Jack? There is I have put out a YouTube short on that. As Alonso's setting 2 purple sectors now, he's actually done a cool down lap on that and then gone for it again. These tyres are actually 9 laps old and 5 laps on this run, as he pops it in at the front as well. So that's interesting. Went away at the end of his first attempt. And yeah, interesting. Brand new. It was his first run, Luke. It was his first run. So the F1 in London, I don't care for it. A lot of people seem to want it. But with regards to the latest thing that was said, it was all made up. It was a development company, a property development company, just made the idea up to say, wouldn't it be great if we did this with this area? And it was nothing to do with Formula One. Formula One haven't spoken to those people. Yeah. And for me, I would want Formula One at Silverstone all day, every day, and twice on Sunday ahead of anything in London. Honestly, I don't. Yeah, it's not for me. But there does seem to be more of a thing going towards city circuits, which I think we have to be careful with the tracks. Well, I mean, he did on his second run, but he still put it on provisional pole. Good afternoon, Buzz. How you doing? Haas have a new front wing as well. It's only a 30-second short, Jack. I'm good, cheers, thank you. Just a little reminder as well, guys. I'll be back at 4:45 tonight UK time for free practice 2. So hopefully you guys can hang out. I see winning for the W14s this weekend. Well, you are an optimist. I think the only way the W14s win this weekend is if both Aston Martins, both Ferraris, and both Red Bulls crash or retire. As we've seen Verstappen go first on 4-lap old. They were new. He's just did a cool down lap and went on it again. So it's one run. They're still classed as new. Very close up at the front there. As we see, actually, the Alpines quietly, I've just realised, in 4th and 5th place on fairly long runs on their mediums. It's good to see. Maybe Bahrain just didn't suit them at all. I can't see yes, of course you will, because you don't own it, Ash. Yeah, no. Yeah, yeah, Dan said earlier. Bloody hell. Max going over the Max going over the curbing and lots of plank flying into the air. Yeah. So yeah, don't. Well, I mean, no. Feel free to make extended highlights of races on your channel, but be prepared for them to be gone immediately, because you've not paid Formula One for the rights to use their footage. It's not how it works. If someone else owns something, then it's pretty fair to assume that someone's going to be angry you're doing it, whatever it is. Yeah, I want to see how Stroll will do. That's an interesting thing, isn't it? How will Stroll do versus Alonso? Because with the surgery that Stroll had and the level of athlete he is, he's going to be back on it now, isn't he? I don't think there's going to be any lingering issue weeks on, because what are we now? About 3 weeks on from when he had the surgery. So I think it's going to be fair representation. Interesting to see where the Aston Martin is beating the Aston Martin is beating the Red Bull at the minute into the final corner. Yeah, I think you could see Lance Stroll come into his own. I truly do. I think he'll less and less be a meme. My understanding with her and Lewis was that she was a private contractor initially with another company, and they just got on. So Lewis Hamilton took her on, like, you know, personally. That's, you know what I mean, though. Stroll does have real talent, though. People just assume he's bad because he's got daddy's money. Well, yeah, but he's done some stupid stuff, Shiv. Let's not deny it. He's done some truly stupid stuff. But yes, I believe there's a driver there. I'm hopeful for Alpine. I used to work for a parent company. Oh, nice. Leclerc is indeed on softs. He is on softs. Now, I think tonight, free practice 2 is the one you want to be in, guys. Which I'm live for at 4:45 because that will be representative of when qualifying starts and when the race starts. So, and there we go. Verstappen, top of the times. Interestingly, he's done outlap, quick lap, cool down lap, quick lap, cool down lap, quick lap. So that's actually his third fast lap on those tyres. Which that isn't a usual thing. So that's interesting. It's just a little tidbit there that those tyres are actually 6 laps old. So yeah. Yeah, and I think people forget the sort of human side of stuff. The drivers might want to move on, but also staff, like it sounds brilliant from the outside, jetting all over the world for a job and all this, but maybe you get to a point where it's like, yeah, I'm tired now. I can go and do something, be closer to home. I've had a brilliant time and I'm done, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Carlos Sainz on, new softs goes 8th. Sainz 7th. Leclerc and Sainz 7th and 8th. That was both on new softs. That's curious. That's curious that the Ferraris are behind the Haas cars and Albon's Williams. That's very, very interesting. Next year, I think, Shiv. After next year. That is odd, isn't it? Really? What's Stroll doing? Stroll's out on some scrub softs. Yeah, exactly, Keith. And I've seen drivers say that, where they're saying, well, I don't see anything, I don't think the Aston Martin's there, to be honest. I think if he has a lunge on the Red Bulls, it's only going to be a crash because the Red Bulls are faster, but have they actually taken new power units there at Ferrari? I thought it was just electrical control units that they'd taken. Oh, John, I know I read that. Got kids, so I would assume working with Hamilton isn't great for work-life balance. Indeed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, indeed. Albon's going quickly, isn't he? Up in 4th as we see 2 purple sectors from Verstappen. Again, he's had a cool-down lap and he's going fast again on these soft tyres. Really, really interesting, this. They're not shying away from putting the laps in on these soft tyres. I think this shows what we already know and have already been able to analyse, that the Red Bull is insanely good to its tyres, as we see Verstappen set a 29.8, some 7/10 near enough ahead of Alonso. Let's have a little look. I mean, a 29.8 was... Sorry, what was that? What was that time? A 29.8... That's nearly as fast as Q3 last season. Sorry, practice 3 last season. I don't know. I'm not listening to Karun, so I don't know. As Russell goes fourth on scrubbed tyres. How old are they? Russell's tyres are 4 laps old. Please do smash a like on the stream, guys. It helps absolutely loads. You might have to close the chat to do so, but hitting that like button really shows YouTube that people like this content. Get involved in the conversation in chat, and also hit the subscribe button down below, followed by the bell notification button, so you get notified every single time I go live. My name's Rich, and this is TSKF1. I do an F1 news show every morning, 9 a.m, Monday to Friday, and also cover all of the F1 sessions with a watch-along like this, so please do get involved. Alpine pink or blue? Alpine pink or blue? Let's have that in the chat. Alpine pink or blue? I'll speak for my daughter. Pink. Check your WhatsApp, John. I prefer the blue. Blue any day. Blue. Oh, look at me. Since I'm in premium. Who's got you? Does any? Yes or no? Do you have YouTube Premium? I'm really interested to know. Does anyone have YouTube Premium? I saw change battery and control electronics. Full engine change would trigger a penalty. Yeah, I'd not seen news that they'd taken new engine. I'd not seen that they'd taken a combustion engine. I guess nobody has YouTube Premium apart from you then, John. John, Lone Wolf. Can we have rips in chat for McLaren? Oh no. Oh, McLaren. I don't even know what to say about them. Thank you very much for the super chat, Russ. Did you see the F1 post of all the driver helmets? Which is your favourite? Also, thanks for all you're doing. Appreciate that, dude. Really appreciate the super chat. That's really nice of you. Super chats very much help keep the channel going, so thank you very, very much. I didn't. Let me have a quick look. I think I did, but I sort of scrolled over it. Stroll's not happy. No, why did I do that? Thank you, Russ. I've done lots of scrolling. I can't find the post. Oh, there it is. I have to admit, I really, really, really like Lance Stroll's helmet. I think it goes so well with his car. And it's just a British Racing green with the Aston Martin wings down the side. It looks... Are the wings? It looks really, really good. Leclerc's is very much like a Schumacher one, so I like it. I like Russell's. Yeah. Yes, it is, Pascal. Yes, it is, buddy. That's just broken my head, John. What you've just sent me has broken my little head. Gotta look. Well, you know, one has to have a clean helmet. One does have to have a clean helmet, and... Was that Norris that just basically stopped? Cheesy. Oh, boys. Lowering the tone. Thanks again, Russ. Yeah, but there you go. That's what I think, Russ. Those super chats are brilliant. They're just so obvious. I wouldn't miss them ever. I bet. Yeah. So, 17 minutes to go. Lando. Yeah, McLaren. They're not looking good, are they? They're really not looking good. Alonso sets a personal best lap, half a second down on Verstappen. I mean, this is very reminiscent of what Hamilton did for years to me. Come out, do a few laps, smash everyone, go in and sit in the garage. It's be prepared for Verstappen to basically walk to the win on Sunday, I think. I don't see it going another way. Aero upgrades on Williams. So Williams have got a little gurney flap on the front wing. Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but in the last Grand Prix, someone was complaining that we'd not seen the drivers at the front, and the chat did erupt a little bit. Like, what was it you wanted to see? It was just Max driving. Well, I mean, some people might want to see that, but just driving around. It really, as an F1 fan, it did hurt when they sent the radio message saying there is no race, Max. It's really sad, right in the middle of a Grand Prix, to just say there is no race, Max. You know, it's not good, that. That isn't good. It's not a good look for the sport at all, is it? It really isn't. So, Russell's on an outlap on scrubbed softs, 5 lap old softs. Basically having a look at the Williams upgrades and showing all of the time. Basically, there are numerous but small updates on the Williams, which could add up to quite a lot of improvement, right? Hamilton out as well on 9-lap old hard tyres. Keeping me up. Just streaming constantly, Gled. Thoughts? Idiotic, Shiv. Not you. What I would suggest is any of those sources, stop listening to them and watch the TSKF1 news show where at length I showed that was stupid and I put out a YouTube short that it was stupid. Just watch my content, basically. Just watch my content and then you'll know. But there you go. My thought is stupid. Not you. Just anyone that came up with it. Wonder whether Piastri is still talking to Webber. Yep. But all I'll say is, Shiv. Shiv. Helmut Marko from Red Bull said it would be stupid. And it's not a thing. So if you've got someone from Red Bull basically defending Mercedes, it shows how ridiculous it is, you know. But people keep putting out this fanciful, false content, and people fall for it, unfortunately. I don't know why. Hamilton's lining up for a fast lap here. The way he postured onto the start-finish straight, he wanted drive. How's he doing through the first sector there? Not good. So what we can say here, Mercedes fans, is that Hamilton was on the soft tyres, asked how much time people were finding, and was told, and he said he was struggling for grip on them. So the Mercedes isn't good on soft tyres. It doesn't seem to be particularly good on hard tyres. So, yeah, it's not looking good for Mercedes fans again. They'll put out another press statement after this. He did, yeah. Piastri did get up to 11th there, didn't he? Ocon's just come out on fresh softs, though, so we'll have to see how that goes. Yeah, they'll put out another statement. They'll put out the smiling team picture or something. I don't know. I thought that statement was annoying. I honestly cringed at it. Verstappen with a little bit of a bobble towards that final corner outside wall. That's what we want in Formula One, isn't it? That kind of competition. You know, when was that? Was that 21? When Verstappen hit the wall? The only reason he hit the wall was because of how hard he was pushing. That's what we need in Formula One. Not any team, and any team, not any team walking away from it, not walking away with it. That's what we want, isn't it? As fans, even if it was Piastri and Gasly, just absolutely pushing each other. That's what we need, isn't it? In the sport where you know that they're going for it so much. Bless him, Jackie Stewart didn't know where to look there as the camera just stayed on him for an uncomfortable amount of time. Oh, back with the Piastri thing, yeah. Jackie Stewart is a legend. Agreed. He must be about 912 years old now, though. He must be. I feel like tonight you're going to see times... Well, I think tonight is the session where we'll see race runs and we will see quali runs, proper quali runs as well. Because it's in the conditions that match the race and match the qualifying. So I feel like they're going to be on... You'll see a mixture of long stints and short stints tonight, and they'll be representative. Perez has a strange smell from his car. Definitely. Definitely. Just shattered, hasn't he? Oh, black and white flag for Norris, failing to follow race director's instructions. I wonder if that was for his pit entry that wasn't, and crossing the line of the pit entry, maybe. Called it. Used to watch him racing. I watched his team. I didn't watch him race. Oh! Stroll went really wide on 20 there. He was on a push lap there. He was on a push lap. He was going for it there. 70. Well, welcome. A long way wide. Oh, Yuki Tsunoda. That was pretty bad, really. That was pretty bad, really. He was just sat on the apex, going really, really slow. Gasly, I'm expecting to move up here. Oh, I think he just has. Slow final sector, though. 7th. Well, at the moment, the Mercedes are about as far off as they were in Bahrain, about a second. I think they were a little bit closer, in fact. But the Ferraris, curiously, are nowhere at the minute. Very odd. Best car he's ever got? He had a good Williams. He had a good Williams at one point. Probably not win-worthy, but... Yeah. I'd think it would be a touch slower, yeah, because of where they've reprofiled that corner. It's slightly tighter, Gled, which would mean the lap time, I would think, would be about the same come qualifying. Do you know what I mean? The improvement they've had year on year in the car will be nullified by that sort of change that they've had in the circuit. But we'll see, I suppose, on Saturday, tomorrow. I think my only thing with him, Keith, and they're all guilty of it, but my only thing with Stroll is he's done some genuinely daft stuff. They all have, but you know, I think the perception of it is even worse because of what you said as well. You know, I agree with you. Just having a look here. No one's on a quick lap. Yeah, it's just that they've moved that apex sort of to the left. I don't think they've per se reprofiled it all that much, but they've just slowed it down a touch. Well, yeah, Stroll goes up to fourth. There you go. Now, that's what I'd expect. Me, I think if you're looking at 2.5, 3 tenths between Alonso and Stroll, I'd expect that. I think. Do you guys agree? I think that's a fair gap between the two, honestly. Guys, please do make sure you smash the like on the stream. It helps absolutely loads. And if you are new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button down below so that you get notified whenever I go live. I will be live at 4:45, ready for free practice 2. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. Have Ferrari lost some pace? I don't know. Or have they turned their engine down? Or are they fueled up? You know, I don't think we're seeing Ferrari go for it yet, though. I do actually. I think most people would agree that top six makes sense. Like the team wise, maybe. Well, basically driver order. I mean, look at the gap between Russell and Hamilton. It's nothing. So that you know, it's inconsequential. But that team order makes sense. But it's where do Ferrari slot in there? You know, I think later on today, guys, if you are free, I realise it's tea time in the UK, but if you are available, please do come and hang out for free practice 2 because I think it's going to be a fun one. I think we might see some cracking laps, and we'll try and do some long run analysis, and it's easier if I've got you guys helping me with that as well. I've only got one set of eyes, but in testing, it was really good when people were keeping an eye on another driver or two for me, just saying that they're still doing whatever times it was. And then that was when we really realised Alonso and Aston Martin were second only to Red Bull, right? Yeah, based on the maximum speed, but Alonso's going the same speed. Stroll's going even slower. So The session's technically finished. I'm just watching the last few cars come round now. I don't think anyone's on a particularly fast lap. That Red Bull is running really, really low. You're seeing Verstappen and Perez sparking loads. The Red Bull is so stable, though, with the onboard helmet cam. It is unbelievably stable. Compared to any other car, it is just on rails. It really, really is. It's unbelievable. Well, hopefully they can do something to close the gap to Verstappen. Otherwise, the win is nailed on for Sunday, isn't it? I think we're pretty much seeing everyone cruising now. Where's Perez? Oh, he's over the line as well, so he's good. And there we have it. Free practice 1 is in the books. Just on board here with Lewis. Again, around lap 20. He just, to me, right, I think you could look at that and think it's a front end problem. But I think it's a rear end problem. I think he's really, really worried about the rear of that Mercedes. I think that's where the Mercedes lacking. It just doesn't know what it's doing, so he's having to back out of it so he doesn't lose the rear, rather than a front end problem. That's what I think, looking at that anyway. But anyway, free practice 1, Verstappen, Perez, Alonso, Stroll, Russell, Hamilton, Sainz, Gasly, Albon, Tsunoda, Leclerc, Ocon, De Vries, Piastri, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Sargent, Bottas, Zhou, and Norris at the back. Not good for Alfa Romeo, but maybe better later on. And I'd like to see more from McLaren if possible. But there we go. Thanks a lot, guys. I will be live in how long? Like 2 hours. 2.25 hours, I'll be live with Free Practice 2. Hope to see you there, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll see you later. Cheers. Bye-bye.